954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Happy Saturday. Happy viewing to all of you who are tuning in with us. We are so happy to have you here. Welcome from INCRadio Florida here. Sister Valerie Joy Ali. I'm here representing the Central Florida area of the District of Florida. We are delighted to have you. And today, guys, we have such an exciting topic, and we have quite a handful of our guests here that we are excited to talk about, engage in conversation about something that has happened previously here in the District of Florida. Now, here with me, we have some of our youth, again, here in the District of Florida, and we celebrated another year of thankfulness. This is another year, 51 years of the establishment of the Kadiwa organization. Now, we're going to go into that a little bit, but before we do, here in the Church of Christ, we have the CFO, or the Christian Family Organization. And in the Christian Family Organization, we have different categories. We have the booklet, which are the married members, the Kadiwa, which are our youth members that are 18 years old and above, not yet married, our Binhi, which are 17 and below and baptized. And we also have our CWS, and these are our very cute young members who are about the age of 4, and they attend the CWS, or the Children's Worship Services. Now, with these different categories in the CFO or the Christian Family Organizations, we have specific activities that help strengthen the bond, that help strengthen the brotherhood in these different categories. And that is something that we're going to be talking about. 51 years for the establishment of the Kadiwa. Now, I'll have a trick question a little later. Now, each category, right, booklet stands for our booklet members in the CFO, or the Christian Family Organizations, and booklet means to bond. Kadiwa also stands for something. So I'm going to ask some of our panelists that are with us today. So make sure that you're prepared for that. Some of our panelists. And then we have Binhi, right? We have the Binhi organization, who are our seedlings, our youth. And then again, as you noticed, the CWS, or our Children's Worship Service category, which is our very youth. So 51 years for the Kadiwa organization, and they had an activity specifically for them, which was the Kadiwa formal. So let me go around, and with us today, we have Sister Elida also joining us from the Central Florida area. We also have Brother Tristan from our Tampa region. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you guys if you can help introduce some of our Kadiwa guests that are with us today. And we're going to talk about, again, our Kadiwa formal that just previously happened. So let's pass it to you, Sister Elida.
Hello, good morning, everyone who's watching. Thank you for joining us today. So we have some very, very active Kadiwa here joining with us, and they also played a really big part in planning the formal as well. So I'm very, very excited for you to meet them. So my name is Sister Elida from the locale of Orlando, and we have Sister Cass. If you want to introduce yourself, Sister Cass.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sister Cass. I'm also the District Kadiwa President, and I'm from Tampa, Florida.
Lovely, lovely. And we have Sister Ann as well. If you want to introduce yourself, Sister Ann.
Good morning. My name is Sister Ann. I'm from the locale of Kissimmee, and I'm a District Kadiwa and a local Kadiwa officer.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. And we have Brother Colin as well. Hi, Brother Colin.
Hello, good morning. I'm Brother Colin, and I'm from the locale of Orlando, and I handle the sports committee within the District Kadiwa.
All right.
Thank you, Brother Colin. Nice to meet you. And last but not least, we have Brother Tristan, who's pretty regular here in INCRadio. How are you, Brother Tristan?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Brother Tristan from the locale of Tampa, Florida.
I love it, guys. And you know what? For those of you who are tuning in, as you can see, many of our Kadiwa that are with us today, they mentioned from the different areas that they're in, but many of you hold what, we call different responsibilities, not only in the Kadiwa organization at a district level, but also on a local level. So, I mean, can you feel the love? Y'all feel the incredible love, that even in the Kadiwa organization, you have the heart to be able to participate and help in the different activities and planning these things. Not only for this doesn't only benefit, the Kadiwa organization. So let's dive into this specific activity. You just all recently had a Kadiwa formal. What is a Kadiwa formal? When I hear the word Kadiwa formal, so for those of us, or for some of our viewers who are just tuning in, or if you're new to the Church of Christ, again, the Kadiwa formal was tailored for our non-married youth members who are 18 years old and above that are not yet married, and you had a formal. So what was a formal? So I'm going to pass it over to you, Brother Tristan. Can you tell us a little bit about this activity?
Yeah, of course. So a Kadiwa formal is an activity that, all of the Kadiwa members really look forward to every year. It's an opportunity for everybody to, wear their best dress, dress up all
Ooh.
nice, and in a formal outfit, hence the name, of course. And it's just a great opportunity for everybody in our district, to our Kadiwa, to mingle with one another, get to know one another, and also do some activities within the program to get closer and just have a good time, have a good evening with everyone. And like we said, like Sister Joy, you mentioned, a lot of our guests here today took a huge role in not only attending the activity, but also running it. Um, I know all of us here mentioned, like you said already, are part of the district Kadiwa, mentioned
Yeah.
what committees they're in.
Mhm.
Um, Sister Cass, I know you're the district Kadiwa president. Could you tell us a little bit about, what kind of preparations you guys did in order to prepare for this activity?
Yeah, so as the president, my responsibility is to oversee all of the planning that is done. It is also my role to build up the officers. So Sister Elida, being in the Arts and Culture Committee, they took point in a lot of the preparation, the planning, and I either guided them by answering their questions, or, um, you know, providing insight on what might be best or what might not work, or making sure that the program itself remains as good, clean Christian um, fun.
Mhm.
As you mentioned, it was like a lot of fun, but we have to keep it clean Christian as well, right? So a lot of my role is to work beside them in guidance and overseeing and making sure that any uh, part or aspect of the program is not overseen. And this comes down to even the little tiny details, such as making sure we have a suguan, or assignments prepared for the activity, making sure that each locale is represented and that they had the information, and that we have the graphic, right? Any little detail that is included. So that is really my role in assisting in this whole thing. Kudos to the Arts and Culture Committee for really taking lead, and they're actually a pretty new committee, and so for their first formal, it was a really great introduction of how they're going to be doing a formal in future years as well. So
You know what, Sister Cass, I think you really did touch on a lot of good points here, like the CFO, the Christian Family Organization, right? The importance of this inside the Church of Christ. And this is not just specific to Kadiwa. This is why it's so important, because it was designed to help protect, to help preserve, to help strengthen the family as a whole, right? Because even as Kadiwa, these types of activities are really necessary. Our soul, thrives on these things, and as members of the church, it's incredible. And I'm going to capitalize INC. It's incredible to have such a support system. And I love how you mentioned that these are different committees, right? All of you are in different committees, and to pull an activity. Again, this is a Kadiwa formal, right? You got to wear your best dress. Who doesn't like to get dressed up and get fancy, right? This is fun. I mean, you get to wear not just your Sunday's best, but how many sisters came out in gowns? That's what I want to know. I mean, you can glam up for this type of activity, and that's a lot of fun. So it's such an incredible time. I want to know what kind of games and how was the food. So let's go around to Brother Colin. I know that you're in the sports committee, but your participation, I'm sure that you are not just studying a volleyball in the corner during this during this activity. This requires, right, like hands on and involvement. So tell us a little bit of what your experience was during the Kadiwa formal. How was the preparation? So that was a lot to mention there. So how was the preparation and how were you involved?
So even though I'm sports committee, that doesn't mean I'm excluded from preparation for future
Absolutely.
activities or current activities. You know, I can't just be lazy, just watching everybody do all the work, So I've just been helping with the decorations, just moving stuff around.
I love it. The
Um,
sports committee in action.
Thank you. So I was just helping with the prizes, moving all the like podiums and stuff, chairs for me. We had musical chairs as a game. I believe one of the prizes that I was giving out was toiletry sets. So you can travel around. You have your toothbrush, your toothpaste.
Essentials.
Yeah, basically. And then aside from that, there's also the food, and the Kadiwa formal was a very formal, and it was a very nice banquet of like food, and I've heard that this is probably like the best food from all the previous activities.
Oh,
So
that's wonderful. That's great. I have a question for you guys. As Kadiwa, right? When you are sitting at a formal dinner, when you guys were sitting there, do you guys know which fork and spoon to use? Because you know how the table setting is. Or did you?
I don't, Sister Joy. I just eat whatever. I wish I knew. I think.
This is the question. Whose cup is where? Is it on the left side or is it on the right side? Did you guys have that discussion at your table? Okay, whose water is it? Do we go left or do we go right? How about in our chat? Can someone let us know?
So
Whose water is what?
I know which forks and spoons and everything to use, but they didn't have it like that. They just had it in a napkin, or the yeah, it's a napkin, and then there was only one glass. So,
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it
All
didn't
right.
confuse anyone. But I would also like to say they only had like 30 minutes to sit down, which was to eat, and then they're up the rest of the time.
Really? That kind of just tells us, right? So you said you had musical chairs. I'm sure that was a lot of fun. It's always fun. It's fun when you're little, like when you're CWS age, and Binheen, but when you have like older ones who are a little bit more like Colin, who is in our sports committee, right? There's a little bit of a friendly competition going on, right? Give me that toothbrush. I want to win that
Yeah, to
toothbrush.
chime in, Sister Joy. Actually, it was more participation than I was expecting. We also had our like live band as well playing the music. So it's not just like, songs that are playing from the speaker. We're actually playing as the band is playing as the participants are running around the table. And
Wow.
Sister Anne Sister Anne was leading the game. So we were all just staring at Sister Anne to tell us to stop and then go and then stop and then go. So it was really funny to see, even the sisters, they're in their best attire, but they're running around the chairs. They want to win, right? And it was
Oh.
really fun. I had a great time. And, it's fun to see everyone let loose like that.
Mhm.
Activity
You know
was,
what?
it was
I think that just again, it's just demonstrating how important these activities are. And Sister Anne, you are in the edification. Is that what you said? The edification
Yes,
committee.
Education and Propagation Committee.
Yes. So that does tell us a little bit about that. How did that impact you as far as preparing when you're first planning this? Right? What are your thoughts as you're planning some of the, when you're planning the rundown, you're like, okay, what type of activities should be included in a Kadiwa formal? Because this is a dinner, right? So you're like, okay, what activities would benefit? So what was that like trying to put this together? And then I mean, from what I'm hearing, everyone is having such a great time. And this is something, this is just one of the activities, right? Musical chairs. Um, so that's kind of the follow up to it. So you're planning these activities. How was that? And then when you actually are there and you see, your fellow Kadiwa having a wonderful time, let's go in on that.
All the Kadiwa here are so active, and I think the important part of these activities is getting people to jump in and play games that they wouldn't think to, especially at a formal, right? So I know Elida said that a lot of the time they weren't sitting down, and that was really true. Like people would get up and run to other tables and talk to people they've never met even, and that's like the great part about it. So there's a lot of edification within it, and it's honestly a part that we look for a lot, and a part that I really enjoyed. I met new people that night too, even though I was helping out with stuff. So it was really great to see it.
Oh, that's wonderful. You see, and even though it's at a district level, you said that you got to meet other people, and what's wonderful is that these types of activities, they bring everyone together. We had, for those of you who are not familiar with the geography of Florida, we're pretty spread out. We have, Pensacola, who they're all the way in our panhandle, and most of us are a little bit more central in in the central Florida area. So it was such a delight to learn that even our Kadiwa from the Pensacola region, they participated, and being able to be involved in things like this really just is, again, y'all, I'm not ever gonna like get tired of using incredible, because it really is an incredible opportunity. It's an incredible just chance for everyone to get together and be able to strengthen our faith. It strengthens us, like even for Buklod, we're not there, and to hear that you all had a wonderful time, that strengthens us, because we're like, yes, so good, so good. We look forward to that, and we look forward to supporting things like that as well. So musical chairs was one. What is another game that y'all played? I would like to know.
We played Bring Me. It was items only.
That's classic right there.
Yeah, for Bring Me though, Sister Julia actually led that part of the activity. It was funny because it was all boys. So you already know
Really?
the competition is
Yeah.
high. Yeah. So it was pretty intense. And it was funny to see that they really would run. They would run to her and give it to her. So I thought that was really funny. It's so great to see that, like, yes, we're not kids. We're like in that kind of middle. We're not kids anymore. We're old enough to act as adults, but it's funny when we act as kids. Like, so like when everyone was like running towards her, it's just like, oh, it's like a CWS, when they're playing tag or something,
And
And
Sister Julia is not that tall.
yeah,
For those of you who don't
it
know
was
Sister
really cute.
Julia, they're like, where is she?
Yeah, it was very cute because they're all so tall, and it's just Julia just like but going back to what you said earlier, Sister Joy, about that even the chat is saying it's incredible, the Kadiwa, thank you for leading for by example. But I do want to mention, it's the Buklud that raised us to be the way that we are. It's our parents, and it's the way that they showed us how to do it. So now we want to do that for the ones under our care. So it's really nice. I've been saying in the chat, like, no, thank you, Buklud, for showing us how to do it, right? And
Y'all
especially
heard
you,
it here on
Sister
INC Radio Florida, right?
especially
CFO.
you, Sister Joy, yeah. And I see good things, especially with your kids. I see them being very active Kadiwa as well, and it's very, very exciting to see. And I feel like I speak for everyone here. Our parents really paved the way for us to be as active and happy as we are now.
Y'all hear it right here, INC Radio Florida, right? This is how important CFO is, Christian Family Organization. And even though this was a Kadiwa, and y'all, I didn't forget. Do any of you know Kadiwa? For those of you, how about this? Before I ask our panelists here, if you are joining in on us on the chat, let us know, what does Kadiwa translate to, or what does it stand for? Because going back, the CFO organization, even though this was a Kadiwa activity, or it's not just specific, right? It's hands-on. Buklod were there. I know that there were some binhi, some eager binhi too, that wanted to help participate in lifting, taking pictures, things like that too, right? It's always like a an all-in type of thing. And even if it's a bookload activity, that's all CFO right there. A CWS, a binhi, everyone's in because there's a lot of love. It's a labor of love, right? That everybody wants to be a part of, and that support system is so important. So we're going to recap again, right? Buklod is for those that are married, and it means to bond and bind, right? Binhi are our youth members, that are 17 years old and below that are already baptized. And remember that the word binhi means seedling, right? CWS is an acronym. It's an acronym for Children's Worship Service, and that stands for our youth who are 4 years old and not yet baptized. Now, in our chat, Brother Tristan, do we have anyone who has mentioned what is Kadiwa?
Right, looking at our chat, we do have one answer from Sister Teresa, Youth with Noble Intention, Kadiwa. And I believe that is correct. Great job, Sister Teresa, that is correct.
Now for the trick question here, because I know many of us here are not native Filipino or Tagalog speakers. Do you know what Kadiwa, what the acronym Kadiwa is for?
Is
How
that
about in
us on this or in the chat?
Here, I'm asking, how about this? I'm going to ask both. So in our chat, how many of you know what Kadiwa is the acronym for? And then here, I think this is what, especially for us non-speaking, right? Tagalog, your heart rate's going up a little bit. Like, okay.
So I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, but I can spell it perfectly.
How about this? Okay, I'm not going to ask the Kadiwa president. No, Sister Cass, I'm not going to ask you.
Oh no, that's not fair. I've had like 20 years of experience practicing this. Come on.
Oh, okay. Have you okay, but I'm going to come back to you. Let's go to our sports committee. Colin, give it a try, Brother Colin. Let's see.
I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it.
That's okay. Try. This is the fun part.
I'm not exactly sure what to.
Okay. All right, that's okay. But props to you for, for being very transparent. Sister Anne, you want to give it a try?
Honestly, I always forget what it stands for because it's long and I never have to really use it.
Y'all, I love the transparency. Kadiwa. It's an acronym, right? It's a Filipino phrase and it stands for what we learned, youth with noble intent, right? And the Filipino phrase is kabataang. So it's the K and the A, kabataang, may diwang wagas. So say it with me. Kabataang may diwang wagas, right? So that is Kadiwa. And then Sister Cass, our spelling bee champion here. You want to spell it for us there. Kabataang may diwang wagas.
You really want me to spell it?
No, it's okay. I'm sure it's
I'm gonna be like Kaba. Okay. Oh,
I had 20 years experience, right?
I type it out all the time.
I love it. Did anyone in our chat? Who did we get over here in our chat?
We actually have. It was Sister Teresa. She, in my opinion, she kills it every time. So she knows the answers to all of it. I think.
I think we need to start giving away. We're going to tap Brother Robert in here, and we're. I think a mug.
Yeah. I was gonna also. Oh yes, Sister Cass. Sorry.
I think she even said she never experienced Kadiwa life before. So for her to be so invested with our topic and with Kadiwa, amazing.
Great point. Great point, because I believe Sister Teresa Marie, she was converted into our faith. And when you said that she hasn't experienced that Kadiwa life, that's because she was converted into the faith later on in her life. So that's just really such a wonderful proof of why the CFO organization, again, just just all around is so important. You know, it helps strengthen us. And Sister Anne, I mean, you're in the edification committee, right? I know, look at this. We are almost down to the last couple minutes, but you talked about some of these games that were in there. How was it like watching, I mean, your fellow, Kadiwa participate this and having a good time as part of the edification committee? How was that for you?
It's great to see because, like I said earlier, it's always one of our big goals because not everybody in our district is outgoing. Some people are really shy, and so it can be hard to pull people up from their chair to like participate in a game. But honestly, a lot of people were really receptive to it that night. They gave me a microphone and they told me to go around and pick out people to play musical chairs. And of course, all of our sisters are wearing heels, but even so, a lot still were happy to participate. And it's really happy to see, especially coming from edification and propagation.
Oh, I love it. You guys heard it here on INCRadio Florida. We are down to this very last few seconds. You hear how eager, how active, and incredible with the capital INC our youth are here in the Kadiwa organization. We're looking forward to more. As a matter of fact, I know that we have some upcoming activities. Sister Cass, I'm going to pass it to you. If you can mention, we're going to close out a little bit here to make sure that you know what's happening here in the District of Florida upcoming.
Sure. So stay tuned because it's not just about the formal. We have more activities before the end of the month. We have our this weekend, we're going to be continuing our family cooking challenge by locale. So the topic or the food that is being prepared is noodle soup, any type of noodle soup, pho, ramen, udon, my favorite, lasagna soup. Then on Sunday, we're going to be having the Ilau movie premiere by locale. And then we have a tribute to parents. So the Kadiwa, Binhi, and CWS members are going to give a tribute to our parents on November 22nd and 23rd. That's also by locale. And then Sunday, November 24th, we're going to have This is Kadiwa, and that's going to take place in St. Petersburg locale at 6 p.m.
Love it. You hear that right here. And again, the fastest 30 minutes on the radio, right? Thank you all for joining us. We're excited to tell you more about all the upcoming activities. I am Sister Joy coming from Orlando. We have Sister Elida, also from the Orlando area. Brother Tristan from Tampa. We thank you all for joining us. We're looking forward to you guys. Stay tuned because South Central States is coming up next. Love you all. Have a great day.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.